there, and welcome back for our next lesson for the APUSH Bootcamp. We are going to go through what the group meeting will discuss. So goals, tasks, discussion, note-taking strategy, and then the highlight this week is going to be introducing the skill of comparison and then practicing. So our week 5 goals are the same as last week. We're looking at the environment and other factors and how that shaped the British colonies. We're looking at how the British colonies interacted with American Indians, and we're looking at slavery. So these 3 concepts we looked at with the Chesapeake last week. Now this week we're focusing on New England. And then our final objective is connected to the task of comparison. Describe similarities and or differences between different historical developments or processes. So a few pages in the AMSCO textbook and then a couple chapters in Taylor. You're continuing your period 2 FBI notes, your Padlet post, and then continue to add to your period 2 objectives and your graphic organizer. So the reading questions are the same here, but I will say that the additional question I have added is, how did religion impact life and culture in New England? And so particularly the New England and the middle colonies are going to see a larger religious component to their life and culture. And so that's why I've added that as a discussion question here. But hopefully as you look through these questions, you feel like you have some answers for them. And if you don't, I really want to encourage you to spend a little more time on your graphic organizer. So last week we put in information for the Chesapeake, and now this week, make sure you have detailed yet concise answers here for New England. So include things about education, include the specific Native American war that took place, King Philip's War. Make sure that you describe not only where, like for example, Massachusetts, the names of the colonies, but include the geographic and the climate information. So what we're going to be spending quite a bit of time on at the group meeting is the skill of comparison. You absolutely are going to encounter this skill in the AP class throughout the entire year. It's one of the 3 main historical reasoning processes. Causation, comparison, and continuity and change over time. So what you're looking at here is being able to describe and explain similarities and differences, and then taking it one step further to be able to describe the significance of those similarities and differences. Sometimes I even see it connected to causation. So describe a similarity, describe a difference, describe the reason for the difference. So that's kind of like the cause of that difference. So you're going to practice comparison with what I call a mini DBQ or a mini Q. And I have included for you a prompt that is going to have you describe the prompt asks you to describe why New England and Chesapeake developed into 2 very distinct societies by 1700, despite people coming from the same region. Based on your readings, you should be able to do some brainstorming there in that top box. And then I've included 3 documents for you to analyze. Now, these documents have questions that follow, and some of the questions you're going to need background information. So if you feel like you don't know the answer, use your resources and look it up. And then finally, I want for you to write me 1 to 2 paragraphs about why these differences occurred. Why did they develop into 2 distinct societies? And I want for you to reference specific evidence from your readings, but then also please reference the documents. This is posted as an assignment in Google Classroom for those of you that are doing this from home this week. Then as usual, we're going to be looking at a primary source practice. So if you remember from the introduction video this week, one of the themes that we're looking at is politics and power. And this document is related to the early government in Connecticut. So take a look at that with the lens of politics and power. And then finally, we're doing a little multiple choice practice again. I've included for you an image of one of the first textbooks, if you will, that was used in the United States, or actually in the American colonies, I should say, as it's called the New England Primer. So it was published in Boston. So there's 2 questions related to the ideas included in this primer. So for the week, please continue to complete your Padlet post by Wednesday and replies, your FBI notes, your objectives, graphic organizer, and then next week we have off. So we will not have any meeting next week, and we will resume the following week.